Hello and welcome to Driver Interviews with Bobby Fazio. It's the Tuesday tell-all. It's Tuesday already. What is today's date? September 19th. That's it. I can't believe it's September already. We're in the home stretch here. Racing season's concluding. It's almost over. But the countdown is on. The points chase has gotten very tight in Superstock, especially. I was talking to my good buddy Walt Walker about that today, and man, things are getting exciting. My favorite race of the year just concluded, as you all probably know. My, Keystone Nationals, we'll call it. Maple Grove Nationals. What was it? The Pet Boys Nationals this year. Was the Mopar Express Lane Nationals in the past. It's had a variety of different names over the years, but didn't go that well for me racing-wise. Not as well as I'd hoped. And, I'll try not to talk too much about that. Brian Reynoldsson, good evening from Canada. All right. How we doing, Brian? Canada, love it. Bruce Fulper, Pomona might reopen. I wasn't aware Pomona closed, but elaborate on that, Bruce. What's up, Bobby? How did you do at Maple Grove? I didn't get to watch it. Second round loser. That's what I was. Second round runner-up to my buddy Brian Warner, who was driving Jim Aberka's Copo Camaro. Fast. I was getting chased by fast people. Geez, I was going 12 O's. I had to race Anthony Bongiovanni first round, going 870s at 155. I'm going like 108. And then after I got past him, I had to get Warner, who was going 930s, not quite as fast as Bongiovanni, and he was going about 130 something. So that's how my weekend went. I was like, man, aren't there any 11-second cars I could race? But it was fun. I love the race. Let's see. Oh, hi, Shane. How you doing, Shane? I just answered you. Hope you're doing well, Shane. Brian Zenson, what's going on, Brian? Thanks for joining us. Dennis Chapman's in the house. Hi, Dennis. How you doing? Fast Eddie Beidler. He was my pit crew this weekend and my cameraman. So all the live videos that you saw from the race this weekend, that wasn't me filming. That was Eddie filming, because obviously I was in the race car for some of those live videos. So thank you, Eddie, for helping me out this weekend. He's a great camera guy. There's Nick Ryder. He's listening. Nick Ryder, how are you doing, sir? Scott Catt, hello from Michigan. Hi, Scott. Billy Ryder, it's great to hang out this past weekend. Sure was, Billy and Nick. And I'm working on that project that you guys assigned me. It's very interesting. I want to, I'll save it for another episode, but something really cool that Nick Ryder and Billy Ryder put me in charge with, knowing that I am a big fan of history and a big fan of our veterans. And that's all I'll say about that for now, because I want some progress to be made before I go any further with that. But Nick Ryder served during Vietnam. Nick Ryder's father served during World War II. So we're trying to get some things done there as far as that's concerned. More on that later anyways. Hello, Warren. How are you? How about all those red lights in the first round of Superstock? And there were lots of red lights this weekend. Unfortunately, none of them were against me. The monthly street legal drags. Ooh, all right. Any chance we could ever get a divisional at Pomona? Can we get Lindsay Snyder on board with that? I think she'd be okay with that, right? She runs Top Sportsman. Yeah, maybe we can get at least one divisional at Pomona sometime throughout the year. Somebody get her. Can we get her on the show? Can we get her to call in for a couple minutes? Is anybody out on the West Coast friends with Lindsay Snyder? I know it's a stretch, but I love In-N-Out Burger. We could start with that. How you doing, Pete? Tom Maioli, how you doing, Tom? How are you? I'm trying to get to Pomona in November. I was looking up flights yesterday, and hope to see you, Tom. Don Kennedy, you will get some money from NHRA second round. Now, if it was Indy and Superstock, I would, but not. I don't think I'm going to get any for stock second round at Maple Grove Keystone Nationals. Would have been nice. That round cost me $300. Doug Deck, how you doing, man? Hey, how was it? How did it go, Doug? Doug Evans, good evening. How you doing? Brian Reynoldson did a good job on the camera work. Eddie, he sure did. Thank you, Eddie. We had one divisional a few years ago. All right, let's have another one. Make it happen, Bruce. Why don't you announce it? Darian, how you doing, man? See, you're making moves on that car and that stick association. Casey Miles, there he is. Good evening, Casey Miles. Tom Gent tuning in from Mooresville, North Carolina. What's up, Tom? How'd you guys do in Galot? Local neighbors around Pomona are POS. Well, if they put up with Top Fuel twice a year, they can't put up with a Divisional once a year. We won't have Top Alcohol there. It doesn't have to be a regional. Yeah, no, unfortunate, isn't it, Don? Eddie's trying with the film. He's doing a good job, and he got his NHRA license. Darian Houston did, ready to get to work in D2 next year. Good for you, my man. All right. Well, Driver Interviews is my website, guys, and I appreciate everybody that goes there. I haven't really updated the website as far as like putting videos up, because as soon as you go to that website, it just flashes up that all the latest content's on YouTube. And I can't keep up with getting all the YouTube videos on the website. So just subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right. Hit the red subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything. I wasn't aware that people thought that costed money. No, that does not cost any money. All it does when you hit the subscribe button is that it just alerts you when I'm going live or when I release a new video. That's all. It's not a paid subscription of any kind. All right, guys. But it does help me, because the more people subscribe, the algorithm through YouTube then sends my videos, suggests it to more people. So that's how that helps. If you actually do want to help monetarily or support the show or sponsor the show, hit me up at info@driverinterviews.com. Go to the website. There's a contact form on there at driverinterviews.com. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, the handle is @driverinterviews. All right. And then I use hashtag the car show for everything that I post, because stock and super stock is the car show. You have already heard me talk about that hundreds of times, right? Lupe Tortilla, can't do this without Stan and Sheila Holt. They really came through in the clutch. They support this show. They support all the interviews I've been doing this year. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been able to travel to as many races as I have this year. So I thank them and really appreciate what they did. I can't wait to go to Dallas, Texas in about a month. That's sneaking up on me, by the way. And go to a Lupe Tortilla location. So texmex.com is their website. And if you're in Texas, I highly recommend you go and check in and tag me in it. I'd appreciate it. Draginsights.com. Alicia, can't do this without Alicia and her brainchild of draginsights.com, which is really cool. Check out your stats. Check out your opponent's stats if you're a premium member, which is a whopping $5 a month or $50 for the year. And contingency is awarded. So this past weekend, Joe Santangelo and Kenny Mealy won and runner-up in Stock Eliminator. They will each get an extension on their premium memberships. Joe Santangelo gets a year extension. Kenny Mealy gets a 6-month extension. Joe Santangelo is probably not going to pay for Drag Insights for like the next 5 years. So, you know what? Use it to your advantage. We are going to put, everybody's been asking for ladders in there, which she's working on. And we're at least going to put blank ladders in there for now. So you can just, type in how many cars you're trying to find out a ladder for, and it'll give you a nice blank ladder. Something of that sort, okay? But you shouldn't have to look far and wide for blank ladders, in my opinion. Draginsights.com is the website. Sign up for a free account at the very least. All you need is an email address. Rob Youngblood, advancedclutches.com. Rob Youngblood is the man when it comes to stick shift drag racing, right? So hit him up. Very knowledgeable, and he works on everything. I just spoke to a guy this past weekend that has a Ram clutch, sending it to Rob Youngblood, and Rob's going to rebuild that for him. So you know what? If you got a clutch or you're looking to switch, advancedclutches.com. Hit him up. Tell him Bobby Fazio sent you. Don Kennedy, Race Car Insurance. Tell Don Kennedy I sent you. 602-284-6240. Policies start really a lot cheaper than the premiums are than I thought they would be when I first started doing this. So hit up Don Kennedy. You can email him also at onedonkennedy@gmail.com. He just has a form for you to fill out, and then he can give you a quote. Thank you, Don. PontiacEngines.com. Bruce Fulper. If you got a question about a Pontiac engine, you want to go class racing, or you want an engine for your street rod, Bruce Fulper is your guy. He sells engines. He builds engines. He's out on the West Coast. PontiacEngines.com is his website. CP Carrillo Pistons. Rick Pennington at CP-Carrillo.com. 2 R's, 2 L's. Tell him Bobby Fazio sent you. It's the only pistons I've ever run in my cars, in my 289s, in my Superstock car. So CPCarrilloPistons.com. I love dealing with them, and I like their product as well. Total Seal Piston Rings. I saw Keith Jones this past weekend at Maple Grove. I saw them at Indy. Lake Speed, I got to break his shoes. I haven't seen him at the races lately, so either he's been hiding or he just hasn't had to come out. But very knowledgeable. Both of those gentlemen, very, very knowledgeable, and I'm sure they'll be at PRI as well. So you guys, you can get so much information out of these guys before you even purchase a ring set. You can learn a lot. Check out their tech page, their tech segments, their videos that they make. And just give him a call if you have questions. All right. Lake@totalseal.com is his email address. Hit him up. Altronicsinc.com. Weather stations and performance electronics. Also, a contingency sponsor, by the way. Altronics Inc. You need a weather station. If you're going to the races without a weather station, I think you're at a severe disadvantage at this point. And a weather station that pays contingency is just icing on the cake. So hit up altronicsinc.com. Check out what they got. Also, if you need EGT, you want a switch panel, you want lithium-ion batteries, they have more than just weather stations. All right, who's out there? I see lots of comments flying in. Was looking to chat in the pits down near the finish line, but I got to talking from Ken from Class Racer, and when I turned around, you were gone. Oh, man, you should have stopped me. But I am in my own little world some days, so what can I say? I was pitted near the finish line. I should have walked by. I was out there all day, all weekend, talking to people, handing out flyers. I wish I had one to show you. I ran out of them. I got new flyers made up for the Nationals there, because my flyers have the cars that I drive on them. But I was driving Mark's car all weekend, this silver car right over my shoulder right here. And I didn't have flyers with his car on them yet. So I had a bunch of his flyers made with his car on them. On the back of the flyers, it explains stock and super stock with some bullet points and shows you how to calculate weight index, how racing is conducted with the heads up versus the dial in, all that. Handed them all out by Friday. By Saturday, I was in my motorhome digging out my older flyers that had, has my Fox body Mustang on it, my red 65 Mustang on it, and this flyer right here. There it is. See that? It's got my Fox body, it's got Jamie Schoenley's Maverick, and it's got my 65 Mustang. I had to dig those flyers up. I didn't even realize I still had them in the motorhome, and I handed out, I had a couple hundred of those. I handed out basically all of those as well. So a lot of talking, a lot of educating people on stock and super stock, answering a lot of questions. I had the full-size practice tree set up. I had the simulator. The simulator that I have used to be Scott Jeffreyon's. If anybody remembers him, he was a very famous pro stock racer, one of the Dodge boys. And my uncle and Scott Jeffreyon were very good friends. So when Scott passed away back in 2006-ish, I believe, his family actually shipped me that simulator, and I've been using that ever since. So it's a really cool tool. I love practicing on it, but I love bringing it to the track because it just lets spectators get in there, pretend they're in the car, leaving off of a brake pedal or a clutch pedal or something of the sort. And it's a great conversation starter. It's just fun. I love entertaining, spectators at this event. I think it's the most highly attended national event on the whole tour. And this past weekend, Friday was packed. Saturday was mobbed. I heard they were turning people away at the gate because they just didn't have any more room for parking. You should see the pictures that Brian Loans took from the tower. I mean, just 10 rows deep, standing room, and the stands were just packed. That's what you get when it's Maple Grove, September, and a healthy forecast. Sunday threw us a curveball. Up to Saturday, the forecast was beautiful, and then all of a sudden, it just took a little turn for the worse on Sunday, and they had to complete the race on Monday. But man, Saturday's crowd was just a sight to be seen. So, I hope it stays like that forever. I want to argue for, a little bit cheaper spectator tickets, but I have no argument when they're selling out like that. So I can't. Bullet in tow. All right. So Doug Deck was on the dyno today, getting his stocker ready. A really cool car combo that I haven't seen much of. What, a 4.6 liter 2000-ish Mustang, I believe. Doug, correct me if I'm wrong, which I probably am. Perry Ford, will I be at Pomona? I'm trying. I'm going to try. Usually when I come out there, I try to come out Wednesday to Monday. Try to stretch that one a little longer because that flight is 6 hours. And I want to do something fun while I'm out there. I got a friend that lives out there from college. Like to see him. And I don't know, do something crazy. Go to Disneyland or something. Does anybody want to go to Disneyland? Let's go. All right. Bill Marshall. Am I going to Virginia? I am trying. I'm going to test like my stocker. I think I'm going to go test it this Friday, see how it runs, and see if I'm going to bring it to Virginia, or talk to Mark and see if he wants to bring his stocker to Virginia. So I'll let you know, Bill. Man, sorry, Mike. These comments are coming in like out of order. There's a comment that was already came in, so I don't know what I'm doing here. But did you miss anything good? No, not yet, James. You're good. Where will I be on the 30th? I don't know. That's 11 days from now. Probably Virginia, right? That's when the Virginia race is. If I did well at this weekend at the Nationals, I was going to try to do the whole St. Louis thing, but second round loss didn't do me any good. So I don't think I'm going to do St. Louis. And that sounded like a phenomenal week of racing. A national, class racer revival, and then 2 divisionals. But unfortunately, not going to happen. Gave it back by 5 thou to Brian Warner. And that was all she wrote. Should have trusted the car. You saw me. Did you guys see me get interviewed by Joe Costello? I literally told him right there that, you know what? The wind is swinging around. This is a fast car. It's hard to judge at the finish line. I think I'm going. I got to go honest on this one. And what did I do? I got down there. I thought I had a little bit of room. Scrubbed the brake. Knocked about 2-3 mile an hour off. Gave it back by 5 thou. See this pen right here? Oh, man. How you doing, Bill Kennedy? Nice heads up run there. Saturday night. Round 3 or 4 of Superstock. Round 4, going into round 5. Heads up with Walter, I think it was. That was cool. Walt Gamble, what's up, my man? How you doing? Thanks for joining us. There's Walt Walker. Let's go. Happy Tuesday. Scott Wagner, thanks for the good indie vibes and your support of Stock and Superstock. Absolutely. I appreciate that. Hey, you were the first person I stuck the camera. You were the first person I talked to. And you won the U.S. Nationals. And I said, you know what? Unfortunately for you, your son's driving too well right now. I don't think you're allowed to get back in the car. Then he goes out and wins a divisional right on top of that. Just you know what? He's on a hot streak. Why not win the divisional too? So Scott, man, you got a beautiful car. You got a kid that's driving lights out. And I'm sorry that you will not be getting back in that car anytime soon. Tim Barrett, how you doing, sir? Tim and Linda, good to see you. Tim, you were missed at the Keystones, though. How come you weren't there? Great parking spot. I did have a phenomenal parking spot at the Keystone Nationals, right? The foot traffic was amazing, and that's why I love that race, and that's why I love that parking spot. I will not be at ZMAX this weekend. I will be going to Penny Bender's memorial service this Saturday for anybody. This is in Perryville, Maryland at American Legion. Penny Bender from 12 to 3. So from noon to 3 this Saturday, September 23rd, American Legion, Perryville, Maryland. I know Bob Bender would love to see you there. And that's where I will be. I'll be heading there. And I will not be at Charlotte this weekend. 99 Mustang 4.6 liter. All right, a couple more comments, and then I got to get back to business here. D-Land, yeah, you know what? You're right. It's just, I went there back in 1989 when I was 6 years old, and I just want to recreate that. That's all. I just want to be a little kid again. And for anybody that knows me, it's probably fairly obvious, right? You made it out to your meeting. Oh, good for you. All right. Well, I'm glad. Can't miss those, right? Weather not looking too promising for Tulsa this weekend. Oh, God. All right. You know the feeling after watching the short. Is the wife driving at the Dutch? She really wants to, man. She's trying to hijack my ride. And the way she is hitting that practice tree lately, she's been out there. I'm not even like, I catch her like sneaking out there to hit that practice tree. And she's really taking a liking to it. So I don't know. She might be. All right. Let's get back to business here. Guess what? There are no birthdays. This is the first week that we have 0 birthdays from last Wednesday up to today. We got a couple coming up this week, but we'll save them for next Tuesday. So happy birthday to anybody that might not be in Drag Insights right now because you're not on the master calendar with your birthday, and you need to get in there because your birthday would be getting mentioned right now, okay? All right. As I said, Penny Bender's memorial service this Saturday, September 23rd, 12 to 3. Perryville, Maryland, American Legion. Okay, hope to see you there in support of Bob Bender. This is his helmet right here, 101st Airborne, served in Vietnam, 1971 to 72. Sad news on top of, Penny Bender's memorial this weekend. More sad news. Heartland Park Topeka is closing in October and being sold. So anybody that saw that, I posted that on my Instagram story. Horrible news. You know what? As my buddy Paul texted me tonight and said, "When will the bleeding stop?" I do not know. I mean, how are we gonna? We got to get this inflation down. Okay, we got to get this inflation down. This land value, all the price of everything is up so high that the value of the land that these drag strips are on is worth more than a drag strip, can make operating as a drag strip. It's just the sad reality right now. Okay. UAW, all three of those auto manufacturers, union workers are on strike right now. They said they want, 40% raise? And their main reason that I saw today was because of the inflation just ate through their last raise. Okay. So maybe we get this inflation down instead of trying to give, everything and everyone more money to combat it, because all that does is create more of it. Anybody that's taken an economics 101 class would know that. But I don't know. I just think politicians create problems so they can go out and solve them and say, hey, look what I'm doing. Vote for me. That's really what I think is happening at this juncture. Okay. Enough of that. So Heartland Park, Topeka, sad news. He's getting taxed out of existence, basically, from what he said. And I don't know. There's three sides to every story. So hopefully, he's telling the truth, and shame on that town for doing that to him, that township, that municipality, whoever's doing that. Shame on you. All right. So as you all know, we were at Maple Grove this weekend. We had the Keystone Nationals. I spent time with the lanes officials, just trying to, stage, if you will, trying to see what they go through. It was Sunday though, so there's not a whole lot going on, but I was talking to them, spent, an hour with them, just walking around, hearing, the things that they're told, what classes are called up, and just asking them what we as racers can do to make their lives a little bit easier. And number one thing they asked for was, we got to have designated pairs every round. And you know what? I do agree with them. I think we should, because they said it's not so much, it's you got to call classes 3 and 4 times, final calls and stuff like that. And I've been guilty of it too. You can, sometimes you're either working on the car, or sometimes you just don't want to be the first pair out, things like that. It's not so much the people taking a long time to pull up to the lanes and get up there. It's more that nobody wants to roll down once they're paired up. And that's the part that they are getting frustrated with. And then they start yelling at racers to pull down, and then racers are very sensitive and get upset when that they're getting yelled at to pull down because they won't pull down. Okay? So I feel for these lanes officials. They are short-staffed. They aren't getting much help. They, some of them are up in age, we'll say, and there's a lack of communication with the tower, it looks like. These lanes officials have a ladder in their hands, and it's up to them to find out who won and who lost and write it in and stuff like that. Like, the tower just can't spit them out a new ladder after that round's over so that they have, the updated pairs. I just think that's a little ridiculous. They are required to walk to the tower themselves to ask for a new sheet. I thought that was ridiculous. You don't even have a courier that can run that out to them, or, heaven forbid, it's 2023 right now. We can't have like a wireless means of communication, maybe a wireless printer out there for the lanes officials. Remember, I said this last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever. There needs to be a hub of communication at the top of the lanes, okay? The entrance to the staging lanes. There needs to be a billboard there with all updates posted on it. Maybe it be a digital screen. Maybe it just be an old school billboard. But there needs to be schedules on there. There needs to be great communication on there. Anything that you need to know about that race as a competitor or even as a spectator, you should be able to walk up to that thing, that billboard, and find out what the heck is going on. What classes are going on? Nobody knew the schedule on Sunday. I'm sitting there refreshing Drag Race Central trying to find out what the schedule is. I didn't know if I thought we were running stock. I'm waiting around Sunday for this heads up between Bubba Linky and Joe Santangelo. And I have no idea when they're running. I thought they were running at like 8:30 because the rain was coming in and they wanted to get finished on Saturday, but they couldn't because the dew came in. So I thought it was early. Little did I know, no, the event didn't start till 10. There was the prayer and the Star Spangled Banner and all that, but it shouldn't be a mystery as to what the schedule is, okay? Like, that's ridiculous. So there needs to be a central hub of communication, and there needs to be a little bit more communication from the tower to the lanes officials to the scales. There's just something missing. I don't know what it is, but it's not 1990 anymore. It's 2023, and this should be so super easy. Okay. And I know we could, like, if they entrusted Drag Insights to handle some of these things, we could knock this out in like 2 days. Okay. This is 2 hours probably. It's really not that difficult. And we're happy to help. I'm happy to help. I'm not a computer programmer, but I can come up with some ideas and then find a programmer and say, here, can you do this? So, anyways, it's just mind-boggling. Anyways, how about Jack Sapanic coming to the rescue of Dan Fletcher? Now, why did Dan Fletcher have to come up here? Not that I didn't have to race against him. I was in stock. So he lost first round of stock, but he won super stock. But I was hoping, let them killer racers stay down in D2, Galot. That's in his backyard. But nope, he came up here and decided to win super stock, but he had some transmission problems along the way. Jack Sapanic took the transmission to his shop about 2 hours away, fixed it all up, got it back to Dan, I think that's Thursday night, I think, after qualifying. And Dan was able to run first round Friday morning and goes on and wins the event. So he put out a nice post about Jack Sapanic, and I figured I would do the same here. Jack Sapanic, that was a really cool thing that you did for Dan Fletcher, and that just goes to show you what kind of customer service Jack Sapanic has. He builds transmissions for anybody that is not aware, and now you are. So here you go. Call Jack Sapanic if you need a good transmission built. Teardown was in effect at the national event. I saw 4 super stock cars in the teardown barn. I believe all 4 were class winners. Dwayne Hoven with the 71 Maverick GTQ automatic. Bob Cupp was in there with a super stock K automatic. I think he's got a 65 Chevelle. Byron Warner was in there with the 94 Camaro. I believe that's super stock I automatic. And Chuck Nagy was in there. It's a GT car, Cobalt, I think it was. So it was nobody knew this was going to happen, but they just came around and said, they summoned you and sent you there. They were pouring heads. I was in there for a couple minutes checking out Dwayne's teardown, and yeah, checking carburetors, bore and stroke, cylinder heads, the whole 9. So beware, guys. Indy's not the only place that you get torn down, all right? And this happened last year at Reading. Lonnie Grimm's keeping everybody on their toes. So I think that's a good thing. All right, be ready for this. As far as I know, 3 of the cars passed teardown. Well, I know Warner did because I saw him in eliminations. I know Hoven did because I saw him in eliminations. Chuck Nagy, I believe he did, but I don't recall entirely. But I did not see Bob Cupp in eliminations, so I think that they found a minor infraction on Bob Cupp's. From what I heard, it was a minor infraction that really wasn't a big performance enhancer, but regardless, they just thought it was something illegal, I believe, with his carburetor. So tough luck, tough news, Bob Cupp. I love his car. His car is a lot of people's favorite car. 65 Chevelle green. Thing is really cool looking. So it was unfortunate news that we didn't get to see his car out there because we need his car out there. His car is definitely a hashtag the car show type car. So I'm sure he'll get it squared away for the next race and he'll be good to go. All right. We've had a lot of comments come in. So let's see. Our DEF header quit on the way to Maple Grove. Spent 2 days in the shop. Oh, man. That's no good. I agree about Don Kenny's insurance. I got some earlier this year at a very reasonable price. Yes, thank you, Michael Glick. I was hoping to see you there, Sean. Pat was there, and Eddie had some cold Millers for you. Yeah, Sean, I did see your brother and your nephew. That was cool. Brian Reynoldson, you saw the interview with Costello. I did good. Thank you very much. I'm glad. I take every chance I get. It's like he was like nervous that I didn't want to talk to him. I'm like, dude, you can talk to me after I do the burnout if you want to open the door and get a few words in. I'm always ready and willing to promote stock and super stock drag racing. Looking forward to see you too, Darian. What's up with the super stocker? Still getting put together, still waiting for parts, all that stuff. Taking forever. They hadn't paid property taxes in almost 4 years. Now, why? This is Heartland Park, Topeka. Why haven't they paid them? Is it because they were like insanely priced, or is it just because the guy just doesn't feel like paying his taxes? Diesel is $6.29 here in California. Oh my God. Oh, that's terrible. Why? I thought everybody had an electrical vehicle out there. Why is diesel so much money? You guys should have the cheapest gas around. They should have a tablet. Yeah, a tablet would be great. I think so. Bubba had to leave. Family emergency. That was very unfortunate. I did not get to see that heads-up run. I never finished that. Didn't get to see the Bubba and Joe Santangelo heads-up run. I hope everything's okay in his family. Congrats to Guy Desjardins, the 2023 John Scotty Canadian National Open Series champion. All right. Agreed. Bill Kennedy. Agreed. I don't know what we were agreeing on. I forget now because it's probably been 5 minutes. Maple Grove, the NHRA trailer used to be at the top of the lanes, but they moved it back by the scales a few years ago. They did. All right, let's get to the results from Maple Grove anyway, before I get lightheaded here from talking too much. Marion Stevenson was the #1 qualifier. What was he doing there? Why did he come all the way up? Factory Stock D, 2015 Camaro. It was good to see him, by the way, him and his daughter. 954.7 on a 1060 index, 105.3 under the index. Congratulations, Marion Stevenson, on taking that #1 spot. That is a trigger run, though. If he's done that a couple times this year, he's going to get reviewed for horsepower. In-stock eliminator, 00 Joe Santangelo, B-stock automatic, 69 Camaro, makes it to the final round. I think it's like probably his 4th year in a row in the final of this race. And he probably won it 3 of the last 4 years. I know he lost in the final last year to Katie Sapanik, but he wins it this year against Kenny Mealy in the 2008 Cobra Jet. Kenny's lights were out of this world up until that final round. Factory stock AA for Ken. He was about 852. He ran 847.6, broke out by a lot there. Joe Santangelo ran 1062.5 on a 1060. He was 016 on the tree, so he had 700s right off the bat. Took a 1,000 stripe, I was told. Actually, I heard by Alan Reinhart. Breaking through the finish line. I saw some people complaining about his method of breaking through the finish line on Class Racer. I did not, see it, so I don't know. But I do know that racers have done that in the past, and some have gotten kicked out for that. So that's up to NHRA to decide. Let me know what you think if you saw it. Anyways, I do love the way Joe's car leaves the starting line. It's like definitely good for stock eliminator. The car, hashtag the car show. Unfortunately, no heads up run. Semifinal heads up was going to be the round to watch. I was so excited for it. It was on Sunday. It was supposed to be on Sunday, but Bubba Linky had the serious family issue. He was not able to go. Big packed house on Sunday. I thought it was going to be awesome, but Bubba Linky, go take care of business. Kenny Mealy, I was talking to him actually after the semifinal, after he raced against Ken Richard and made it to the final. And Ken Mealy was basically saying, I've had a terrible year. I've had 1 round win this entire year. But that 1 round win was against, you guessed it, Joe Santangelo. So he was hoping maybe that would favor him in the final round there. But unfortunately, it didn't. And it's hard, man. It's so hard when you qualify on Thursday, 1 round on Friday. It ended up being 2 or 3 rounds on Saturday, 1 round on Sunday, 1 round on Monday. Man, you just got to be ready every day. You have got to be in that mindset. That tree can look different today, tomorrow, and the next day. And racers like Joe and racers like Kenny they were ready for it every single day. And that's the way you got to be if you want to win in this game. So congrats, Joe Santangelo, his 22nd national event win, his 10th in stock. And I'm sure he's got a lot more coming down the line. Super stock, #1 qualifier, Dan Vellanosi, super stock B automatic. I'm wondering if this was a Johnny Armstrong car. 69 Camaro, it's a maroon Camaro. This thing was flying. 877.8 on a 990 index, 112 under the index. Guessing it's a 396 combination. So congrats on that. That thing was motoring down the track. In the eliminator, though, we had 2 familiar names in the final round: Michael Iacono and Dan Fletcher. Iacono's in pinky, 87 Camaro, pink car, GTG automatic. Dan Fletcher in the orange 69 Camaro that he's had since his stocker he's had since high school, I believe. This car his father bought. It's an original Z28. And made it a race car like the day he bought it. And it's been a race car ever since. So Dan Fletcher is the most winningest car in all of NHRA drag racing. Dan dials 971. It's a factory GTG car. 013 on the tree, runs a 973.2. Michael Iacono's 025 on the tree, dials a 980, runs a 982.3. So by a slim margin up there, Dan Fletcher gets the win. His 107th win, his 55th in Superstock. Wow. 107 national events. Good God. Most of us just want one, right? 107 of them. What do you do with all those trophies? That's crazy. All right, so we had class eliminations in Superstock. Let's run down the line here. Superstock F Automatic, Joe Hertline. G Automatic, Marty Reinhardt. Superstock I Automatic, Byron Warner. Superstock K Automatic, Tim Stickles. Superstock C Modified Stock, Venice Perno out of Canada. GTG Automatic, Chuck Nagy. It's an 05 Cavalier. I said it was a Cobalt earlier, in my correction. GTH Automatic was Marion Stevenson in his Cobalt. Joe Lisa, GTI Automatic. Brian Warner, GTK Automatic. Nick Scardelli. Man, did anybody see Nick Scardelli launching this weekend? GTL Automatic. Mercury Capri. That thing was on the bumper every single time it went down. Will Kennedy, GTN Automatic, or Bill Kennedy. He's here right now. He was a GTN Automatic class champion against Mike Walter. And then he had to run Mike heads up in the Eliminator. So he beat him twice, actually. GTQ Automatic was Dwayne Hoven. Factory Superstock B was Tony Fagnilli. Factory Superstock C, Anthony Bongiovanni. Factory Superstock E was Phil Langford, Gold Rush. And Factory Superstock F was Jerry Noonan. So congrats to our class winners from the Keystone Nationals. All right, let's move it into Division 2. Galot. Victor Cagnazzi in the 2023 Copo. Galot is an 8th-mile track down in North Carolina. He got the win over Blake Hickman in an 83 Camaro J Stock Automatic. Vic was dialed 604, 018 on the tree. Solid. Runs a 605.2 on a 604. Blake Hickman dialed 731, 023 on the tree. Breaks out by 5 thou. 730 with a 5. So close race there going to Vic Cagnazzi. Congrats, Vic Cagnazzi. I believe that is his second divisional event win. Superstock, Larry Leeser, 67 Camaro, Superstock B Modified, got the win over Josh Barzy. That is the Flintstone car, I believe. 67 Nova, Superstock C Modified. So it was modified cars leading the way in Superstock. Larry's dialed 563, 016 on the tree, runs a 567.2. He's over by a lot. Josh Barzy just took a little too much stripe there. Dialed 584, around 583.8, breaking up by 2 stinking thou. 005 on the tree. Wow. So congrats, Larry Leeser. I believe that is his first divisional event win. If anybody has any results from the Great Lakes Association and the Midwest Class Racers Association, we can shout out those winners as well. All right. Until then, let's promote this weekend's race for the Midwest Class Racers Association. I don't know if you can see that because we have all my sponsors in the way, but Friday, September 22nd, they're at Brainerd International Raceway. That is in 3 days right now. Guaranteed payout. 16 car got raised there. $1,750, $875, $375 for the semifinals. $100 entry fee. Wow, that's wonderful. So longest tow award, $250. All right, just pause it on this sheet here if you want, and you can see what they got going on. This weekend here, they got a guaranteed payout of $2,000. So this is September 23rd and 24th. So you get a chance for 2 races this weekend at Brainerd International Raceway. $2,000 to win, $1,000 to runner-up. I think that is a great deal, and hope everybody can go there and support the Midwest Class Racers Association. Don't forget the Class Racer Revival in St. Louis, Tuesday, October 3rd. $10,000 to win stock, $10,000 to win super stock, $10,000 to win in each of the .90 classes, $5,000 to win top dragster, $10,000 to win in comp, $5,000 to win in top sportsman. They got a slew of sponsors there. It's on the Tuesday in between the national and the divisional. You'd absolutely just have to be a fool not to go to it, and I wish I was going to it. I haven't ruled out that I'm not going to it yet. I'm about 90% sure I'm not going, but anything's possible, right? Right. They felt overvalued, but still didn't pay anything. They didn't make any effort to pay and got angry that the county wouldn't work with them. Unfortunate situation for Topeka. Oh, man. Well, you know what? Why can't they, instead of closing and selling, just go on a payment plan? I mean, you can't fight that. You can't get a lawyer to say, you know what, we're going to pay we'll pay $500 a month for the next 5 million months, something like that. Like, I don't know, like put together a payment plan, give them something so that they can't shut you down. I'd be happy with a round win, tough as Superstock is. Yeah, you're telling me. It's really tough. Way to go, modified cars. Walt Gamble loves the modified cars. 3 races Friday to Sunday at the Midwest Class Racer. This is Brainerd, 3 races. All right. Correction. So it's not 2 races, it's 3 races. You're welcome, Brian Zenson. I appreciate it. The Great Lakes Stock Superstock Association got rained out after second round. 15 cars left, and we split the money. Okay. So that's how that went down. No winners to shout out this weekend, unfortunately, but that's all right. All right, is there anything else I forgot? Well, this weekend we got a national event in Charlotte. We have a Tulsa Divisional double, Division 4 double race this weekend. I'm told the forecast doesn't look that good, so let's hope that thing turns around. Remember, use WeatherBug. WeatherBug is the most accurate. You can choose where it gets the weather from, find something very close to the track, and that'll be the spot where you get the weather readings. All right? Brian O'Toole taught me that. Brian O'Toole was the gentleman that let me drive his stocker at Gainesville this year. He's the one that set this whole year in motion for me. I've been driving other people's cars ever since. So I love it. All right, let's go over the points real quick. Let's see what we got here. Top 5 in stock nationally. Kyle Rizzoli. He still has 666 points. When is that dude going to go run a race, dude? I can't stand seeing that. But he's got a comfortable lead. Jeff Strickland's in second. Jeff Longany's in third. Johnny Gray is in fourth. And Brad Plord is in fifth in stock. So Kyle Rizzoli's got 666. Brad Plord's got 536. The points are spread out there pretty evenly. Super stock, though, Tyler Kahili, 612 points. Wyatt Wagner, 603. Monty Bogan, 592. Brian Warner, 581. Brad Burton, 553. And all of those racers still have races to claim. Okay, so that is far from over. Factory stock, Aaron Stanfield won this weekend at Maple Grove, so he's got 703 points. He's running away with the Factory Showdown points chase here. Stephen Bell's in second. Lenny Lottig's in third. Jesse Alexander is in fourth. Mark Powick is in fifth. Okay, let's go through number 1 in the points in each division in stock and super stock. John Gray, stock, Division 1. Brian Warner, stock, super stock, Division 1. Division 2, stock is Jeff Longany. Super stock is Monty Bogan. Division 3, Tyler Bohannon in stock. Tyler Kahili in super stock. Division 4, Jerry Emmons in stock. Jimmy Hidalgo Jr. in super stock. Division 5, Tom Kane in stock. Wyatt Wagner in super stock. Division 6, Brad Burton in stock. Jackie Alley, super stock. Division 7's Kyle Rizzoli is in stock, and Brad Burton is in super stock. Kyle Rizzoli is in second in super stock. So he could still come from behind. He's got 516 points in super stock nationally, and he still has some more races to claim. So he's not out of it yet in super stock as far as I'm concerned. All right, who else is out there? Walter Gamble, I'll be lucky just to run the index. Darren, you got this. Don't worry, man. Walt Gamble, there he is. All right, guys, I think I got to everything that I wanted to get to. Good luck, everybody, heading to Charlotte this weekend or Tulsa. I will see you in Dallas. Dallas is October 12th to the 15th. Jegs All-Stars. Walt Walker and I are going to do a special episode of, it's not going to be a Tuesday tell-all. It's probably going to be a Friday tell-all. Friday, October 6th, tentatively. We're going to give a rundown and a preview of the Jags All-Stars, see what we notice in there. Well, first off, we're gonna shout out the rosters just so we can get everybody's name out there, and then we'll see. We'll go through some of the stats. We'll get Walt's take. Walt's very knowledgeable. He's way more knowledgeable than I am, and he knows these drivers inside and out. And he can tell me what he thinks. Who the favorites are, who the underdogs are, who the blockers are, and all that good stuff. So, if anybody knows where the rosters are, can you please send those to me? I think Walt sent them to me, and I don't know where they are. So, Walt, if you got them, can you send them to me again? But if anybody else has them, send them to me or send me the link. I'd appreciate that. But yeah, it's going to be fun. Hopefully, they are quelling the dust situation in Dallas a little bit. I saw on Facebook that they were, and you know what? The track is open, and that's all that matters. Okay, we cannot complain about the the track having a lot of dust. Yeah, sure, it sucks, but you know what? The track is open, and so many of them are closing. So support it. They got the Stampede of Speed there that week. Go there and check it out if you could. I'm getting there on Wednesday, so I don't know if anything's going on Wednesday the 11th, but I'll be there from Wednesday to Sunday. So come find me. Alicia and I will be there. It's basically going to have a table set up, signing people up for Drag Insights, educating them about Drag Insights, and hopefully paying some special prizes for Drag Insights that weekend. So make sure you come find us. We are looking to team up with the maybe post up at like Lupe Tortilla Pit or somewhere that's easily accessible for all the racers. Sheila Holt said that we were more than welcome to post up there. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Hopefully she is still okay with that. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in tonight. And good luck. Be safe this weekend. Let's pray for sunshine in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and safe racing down in Charlotte, North Carolina. Penny Bender memorial service this weekend. Perryville, Maryland, American Legion, noon to 3. Hope to see people there supporting Bob Bender. All right, guys. Have a good week. Take care.